So let me go ahead and reboot this for YouTube. Let me go ahead and start it. And let's see. Time for a quick reset. There we go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Guale Origins for our second session of the day. What we're going to be talking about today is Kolomoki, probably Okologi. Just go over a couple mounds, like I did last time, that they're trying to give to or attribute to the Muskogee. Now, we're dealing with Kolomoki itself. The family actually went. And I want to read something here. There was some Mayan artifacts found there, and I guess this is why people tend to attribute our things to them. Let me share this for you so who's watching can see. Welcome in, welcome. Thank you. Like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it to someone. It's just going to be the tab. Let me share this tab to you. So Lost Worlds. And they're talking about Kolomoki Mounds, 500 AD. Now, some things to look at here is when you studying this, I love studying this because people don't, I don't want to say tell on themselves, but they show you what's really what. So we're gonna go over, look, go over some of these things. It's also, so it says this was made in 2006 by Gary C. Daniels, right? American Mexico Connection, American Southeast, Comet Creek Indians, Georgia Woodland Period, Heechiti, Impact Events, Swift Creek, Woodland Island, etc., Whedon Island, etc. So Kolomoki Mounds are the next great accomplishment of Georgia's Native Americans. The Kolomoki Mound site is believed to have been the most populous Native American community north of Mexico during its time period. The site consists of 9 earthen mounds built between AD 350 and 750. So this alone puts us outside of that Mayan migration. So what we know to be a fact is that that migration happened later on. They maybe just give us a trail of tears here. So I'll just stick to what I was on, and I'll come back to that. So, excuse me. The largest of Kolomoki's 9 mounds is Mound A, and it rises to a height of 57 feet. Its base is larger than a football field, thus making it the Indian Mound, the largest land base in the state of Georgia. The mound takes the form of a truncated or flat top pyramid. Although today the mound is covered with grass and a few trees, it originally would have been swept clear of any vegetation and covered with different colored clays. So what we know to be a fact is, I'll tell you this. Oh, well, it's going to go on. So it says the final capping layer was made of red clay. Years before this red capping layer was added, the mound had been completely covered with white clay. These clay capping layers are so thick and hard that early archaeologists joked that it would take an earthquake and dynamite to even break through them. And they can say that's a joke, but it's not a game, because we know that's exactly what they would do to certain shit, right? So they have books, Mayans in Georgia, and yes, the Mayans definitely came to Georgia. So this is an aerial view. Now, to prove my point that they will break through some shit, if I can click here, this is Mound E, right? That was partially excavated. They built a museum into Mound E right here. So if you were to go there, they built the whole museum there. This is a burial mound here. This is the ball game area. This is Mound B. Right? Look, now it's, and I listen now. I didn't even, I'm telling you what's going on here, right? So it said they had goalposts in a game and wood hedge, a totem pole, a war peace post. I'm telling you what's going on here. This is Mound A, what they consider the ceremonial mound. And again, actually being here and let me see, actually being here. Let me see if I can let me swap tabs. Perfect. Actually being here was fulfilling. And there are many reasons that that final layer of the mound was covered in red. Now, dealing with Kolomoki, when we went, there was a video that they had, and they were, going over the history and things like that. And I eventually had to ask the tour guide. I was like, how do you know that the people look like this? Like, what science did you use to say, well, these are what the people look like? This long, silky hair, this brown, tan skin. And the answer that we got was, well, we don't know. We just assumed what they look like. We had to make pictures for these purposes. I wish I had recorded it. However, my wife, my aunt, and my uncle was there. So let's get more into what them talking about the mounds. Let me share this tab. Let me go back here. Let's see. All right, here we go. So it's talking about mound B. So it says, let me highlight this real quick. You know what? Fuck it. So another mound, Mound B, located at the southeastern end of the Central Plaza near Mound A, has perplexed archaeologists since its discovery. It seems to have been created solely to hold up very large posts. Some have suggested that these posts were the goal posts of the Indian ball game, while others suggested they were possibly totem poles. A more likely explanation, though, comes from written observations during the historic era of Hichiti Indian practices in this same region. Hichiti or Lower Creek towns were divided into white towns and red towns, peace and war. At every public assembly, each town would erect either a white peace post or red war post at the southeast corner of their central plaza to indicate their present political orientation. Thus, it is likely that Kolomoki mysterious mound reflects an earlier woodland version of this same ritual, or is a later addition by the Lamar culture. Important as hell. Now, anyone watching, like the video, share it. If you do want to come on, just let me know in the comments. When I catch it, I will add you to the group. Now, this is what's important, right? So we noticed that they mentioned the Hichiti period. And if you understand the Hichiti period, you know that the original Hichiti are migrants, right? Let me go back up and get this back to you all, family. Let me get this back to y'all real quick. And matter of fact, let me leave this here and let me share this link. I need to share this link out so I can get more viewers. Let me push this link out. Stay right there. Don't go nowhere now. Stay right there. Don't go nowhere. Stay right there. Hold on. Let me send this link out. Let me send this link out. We're going to drop this on Facebook. I'm going to drop these in the groups. And then I'm going to drop them on the gram, and then we back rolling. Then we back rolling. Hold on. Because what we're not going to do is we're not going to give the credit, all of the credit that was going on over here. We not gonna give that to them people out west. Hold up, let me drop this. All right. So what they're talking about now is designs. You have astronomical designs, things like that. You got your Milky Way. Let's click it, see what we can see. Says virtual search. Go up, go to page 3. So, okay. So, yeah. Okay, who built Kolomoki? All right, who built Kolomoki? All right. Now, we're going to let them push it back, and we're going to jump on that ass. So it says the primary evidence comes from the 2 types of pottery that have been found at the site: Swift Creek pottery and Weeden Island pottery. The Swift Creek culture is the older and more widespread of the 2, and it's believed that the Weeden Island culture evolved directly from the Swift Creek. A map of the Swift Creek culture area shows that it was once spread across the state of Georgia. The distribution of this culture and its pottery seems to match the distribution of the Hichiti Native American language family, and thus it is likely that Hichiti was the language of the Swift Creek culture. We building now. We just building. It says one of the few modern day speakers of this language is the Miccosukee Indian tribe in South Florida. They were once part of a larger tribe known as the Cheha, who lived in Georgia and Tennessee. As was noted in our previous discussion of Fort Mountain, there is mounting evidence that the Cheha were Mayan immigrants from Mexico. According to the one Hichiti migration legend, they arrived by boat in Lake Okeechobee area, in the Lake Okeechobee area of Florida, before migrating north into Georgia. Archaeologists have found the earliest evidence of corn agriculture in North America in the area around Lake Okeechobee, dating to at least 200 AD, the same time period that construction began at Kolomoki. Corn originated in Mexico, thus its arrival in Florida suggests Mexican natives brought it there by boat. Now, important, right? Very, very, very important. Now, what we hear here is that the Hichiti had come by boat. This is literally what we just read. But not only did we hear that the Hichiti had come by boat, if you watch my video earlier, they also said that who had came by boat? The Yuchi. And that both of these people came from totally different places and settled in the areas now known, now the South. So you have them in Florida, Georgia, or settling in Florida and Georgia, right? But then they settled in Florida and Georgia. That means that they're not originally from here. They are from Mexico. And this is why Rome needed to be on here, because would have dropped that science that many people don't have. You get what I'm saying? And what people don't have is they don't know or tall grass, especially tall grass. Bro could give the story of maize in a way that would be beneficial to the masses. That's why I need them on here, because everybody plays their fucking part, right? So let's go. Let me see this PDF. You know, we read this already. So watch this. Now, it says that the Yuchi among the oldest inhabitants of the Southeast are believed to have had a powerful chieftain, probably known as Chiska, to Hernandez Soto, perhaps located perhaps in South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee. The Yuchis could not understand Muskogee, Hichiti, or Alabama, or any Muskogean dialect. Now, let me see if I can find this real quick. Let me look on the hold up. Because we go and we look at Hichiti, right? Let me search Hichiti. That shit probably come up a million fucking times, but let me see. We ain't finna make this shit up. Cause y'all know when I build, bro, I build. But now that I have this, oh man, this shit, listen, bro. Easy, too easy. So it says the origin of the Hichiti is given in various ways. But this is what I have heard regarding them. The true name of these people was Atikasa. Did I not say that they were called the Atikasa? Right? It says they claim that they come to some place where the sea was narrow, came to some place where the sea was narrow and frozen over. Crossing upon the ice, they traveled from place to place towards the east until they reached the Atlantic Ocean. They traveled to sea from whence the sun came. This is the dagger, right? This is the dagger. We're going to copy this. They traveled to see where the sun came. This is how they get the name Tikahasa, because in Muskogee it means see the sun. It's literally the same word as Hichiti, but it's okay, right? Now, let me see if I can go down when they mention oh yeah, daggers, right? So it says this is when they meet the white people. If you read, you have to, if you don't watch the videos in series, then you're gonna miss a lot. When I spoke on the white people that they met at that time, gave them whiskey and shit. So it's talking about that. Says a cup was left with this, and the Indians began pouring whiskey into the cup and smelling of it. All being much pleased with the odor, some went so far as to drink a little. They became intoxicated and began to reel and stagger around, but each other with their heads. Then the white people came back, and the Indians began trading peltries, etc., for things which the white people had. Then the Muskogee, who claimed to have emerged from the navel of the earth, somewhere out west near the Rocky Mountain, came to the place where the Hichiti were living. The Muskogee were very warlike, and the Hichiti concluded it would be best to make friends with them and become part of them. Ever since, they have been together as one people. Hichiti is a Muskogee word meaning to see, and was giving to them because they went to see from whence the sun came. So their name was changed from Asikata to what? It was changed from Asikata to Hichiti. Hichiti is the Muskogee word meaning to see. So when you say, oh, I speak Hichiti, you're saying that in the Muskogee dialect. Because if you were properly saying it, it was Tikahasa. That's the same word as Chickasaw. But see, what people who don't study the language, niggas will, if I said Hichiti was Muskogee, people in high places will try to shit on my name without understanding exactly what I'm saying. The dialect that you saying Hichiti is Muskogee. You should be Atikasa. Like Nanya Shabu El. You should be Atikasa. Watch this. Their ancestors first appeared in the country by coming out of a cane brake or reed thicket. Uski. and Hichiri near the sea coast. Right? They sunned and dried their children during 4 days, then set out, arrived at a lake, and stopped there. Some thought it was the sea, but it was a lake, and they set out again and traveled upstream and settled there for permanency. Now, where did they land? This is what bro was talking about with them landing, or those Mexicans, right? When he says here, as was noted in our previous discussion on Fort Mountain, there is mounting evidence that the Chija were Mayan immigrants from Mexico. According to one Hichiri migration legend, they arrived by boat in the Lake Okeechobee region of Florida, area of Florida. This is a fact, because when the Mayans went to war, right? When the Mayans went to war and they left, they came. And I'm gonna be honest with you. At this time, it's a high chance that a lot of these people just walked over here. It's a very high chance that they walked to Cuba, then hopped on boats. Excuse me, that's what I meant to say. It wouldn't be rare, and it wouldn't be the first time, right? It wouldn't be rare, and it wouldn't be the first time. So here we notice that, okay, you see, you got Quetzalcoatl, right? Or some people say Coatzacoalcos. I don't know why, but it's Quetzalcoatl. You hear them people say that, they be so funny, man. They be killing me, bro. They be killing me. So what happened to Kolomoki? Now, while the true identity of the builders of Kolomoki Mounds is not known for certain, what is known is that around 550 AD, something seems to have happened to the people who inhabited the Kolomoki site. The population decreased, and there was also a decrease in mound construction. Increasingly, these changes were in line with what was happening around the world at the same time. A major disruption in the Earth's climate seemed to have occurred worldwide around 536 AD. Says this was the most severe episode of cooling in the northern hemisphere in the last 2,000 years. If you go watch my video from yesterday, I explained that the ice floor touched places in Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. Right? It says an extensive atmospheric dust veil is thought to have caused this cooling event. In his book, Catastrophe, author David Keyes argued that this dust veil was caused by the eruption of the Indonesian supervolcano Krakatoa. One of the largest volcanic eruptions in the past 50,000 years. Okay. So again, when you are dealing with this, right? When you're dealing with Kolomoki, it lets you know that this shit was already built before the Mikasuki got here, and they tell you it was built before the Hichiri got here. And the craziest part about it is you can find all of this in different texts, but you will never find it together. Let me see if it's, you will never find it together. Yeah, so they got it with the single S double E. You will never find it together. Let me see. Okay, Yamasi Revolt. Okay, boom, 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 boom. All right, let's get it. And then what I say, bro, these stories, this is a creation story. Hold on, let me send it. All right, here y'all go. This is a creation story. This shit long as shit, bro. So I'm gonna take y'all probably to like, I'm gonna read a couple points. I'm not gonna read all of this because we read a whole fucking migration story earlier, bro. My throat is hurting from that damn story. So it says it was in the beginning when people were first created. This is the history of the three tribes known as Casita, Chickasaw, and Coweta. So if you watch the last video, I explained that their migration was in three groups. And that first group to leave was really the Wynn family. But y'all gonna get it. Y'all will catch up, right? So let's see what we got. So this what basically what they're doing is they're crossing over into the east. And what I want to show is I'm going to go down to like around 270 of this story. And this book, if you need this book, hit me up personally and I'll shoot it to you. I do my best not to put it on the net because I know people will get it and flip it. Y'all watching me, so I know y'all sincere about this shit. So it says the distance between them in either direction was 200 yards. The sticks of the ball post was planted in the ground side by side. Then the ball was thrown up and they ran after it, and they wrestled if they wished. They stood up 20 counting sticks against each other, and whichever side first made 20 points won the game. They threw the ball between the posts, which had been planted on each side. Afterwards, those who had won the wagers went off, taking them along. The Muskogee, Cherokee, Choctaw, Nokfula, the Nokfula, right? Or the Nokfila, that's actually white people. Those were the white friends of the Muskogee. The Yamasee, Natchez, and people like them continued their mutual enmity. For some time, they kept on killing each other. And one tribe, the Nokfila, was lost. That's wrong. No, I shouldn't even tell y'all that. The tribe was in part killed out and part enslaved. The Yamasee were good people. They did not want to fight. But being harassed, they walked deep into the water very humbly, singing pretty songs, and so that tribe was lost. The old people said that this happened because it was thought of God that it should be so. Listen, look at this right here. Look at what the Muskogee tell you about what they think of the Yamasee. They say the Yamasee were good people. They didn't want to fight. And they walked into the water. That tribe was lost. If you study the war between the Muskogee and the Yamasee, you will understand that the Muskogee were the first ones to say the Yamasee were extinct. And they did that so they could actually take over the people's land. It's actually crazy as shit, if you ask me. Now, the reason I want to touch on that is now we can go here. We can go back to this page. Or matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop screen sharing and I'm going to pull up this video about the Miccosukee migration. Bear with me one moment. Let me see if I can find this. I'm going to let them do the talking. And the video is definitely going to skip. So don't be crying and shit. Don't be like, oh, bro, the video skipping, blah, 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 blah. It is what it is. It's going to skip. It is what it is. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find what dude was talking about this shit, man. All right. Secret history of the Muskogee. Hold up. Let's let this load up. Hold on. Let me see. When he get to talk. See if I can find where he goes over the actual migration. Hold on. Okay, perfect. So we're right here. One moment. Okay, perfect. Let me screen share this to y'all. Let me screen share this real quick. Say, hopefully they don't shut you down this time. Right, Mom? They be getting me. They do me dirty, Mom. Screen share. And this guy is going to tell you about the Miccosukee migration. When I say it, it's a problem. I'm gonna let them say it. When I say it, it's a problem because I'm defending our shit. When they say it, it's history. So let's see if it plays without skip. It's not gonna play without skipping. Look, it's barely fucking loading. Cause they know what I be on, bro. It's barely loading right now. And if I stop screen sharing, I guarantee you this shit play out. It'll play out.
The area, went to Mexico and then came back. It's a question that's not been answered.
Let me go back. Because he tried to and had nothing to do with it, and he knew it. Because if you read the people of one fire, and you got people talking about the Olmec are the fathers of the fucking mounds, then them people shouldn't be no authority of nothing. They shouldn't be authority of anything.
A band of the Shoki fled northward along the Great White Path, which was a major road in eastern Mexico along the Gulf of Mexico, picking up bands from other peoples oppressed by the Mexica. They eventually reached the Chattahoochee River, then followed it to its source, where they created a new homeland. The timing places the Shoki arriving in northeast Georgia probably around 1250, 1300, 1350 AD. We're really not sure. There are no radiocarbon dates for the sites we're studying. That means they probably had nothing to do with the construction of the stone buildings and petroglyphs we're finding in the area. But that is not a definite fact. It could very well be that the Shoki originated in that area, went to Mexico, and then came back. It's a question that's not been answered.
Now, I spoke on a group of people that left much earlier than them and came back. And I also speak on many groups of people that have this story. But what they never tell you is when they left. They never tell you when they left. Because there's no way you left 50,000 years ago and think you're the same people. There's no way you left and came back and pretended like you didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Here's you a map so you can visualize the migrations that we just discussed in this program. The initial migration, beginning here in Tabasco State and southern Veracruz, followed the edge of the Gulf of Mexico, the Great White Path.
So
continued to the mouth of the Apalachicola River, then followed northward into the Chattahoochee River all the way to the source of the Chattahoochee. The Shoki River is a major tributary of the Chattahoochee at its headwaters.
Now, if you watch my video from earlier, what did I speak about earlier? I literally said when the Muskogee left, which are Miccosukee and Muskogee, the same fucking word. If anybody try to check it, they're gonna get smoked. They're the same word, different dialect. When these people left, bro, let me share the screen again. My bad. I just went over this story. When they left, they got to the Red River, Chattahoochee. They traveled up to the interior. This is where you get them taking over the towns of Okmulgee, Oconee, Ogie. I'm gonna put this shit up. I'm gonna let y'all do it with me. I'm gonna let y'all do it with me. What is it? Is it? Let me see. Is it gonna pop up? Hold on. Right. So watch this. This is another one of their fucking stories. This is one of their creation migration stories. Let me go to the top and drop back to the bottom. I'm gonna read the top and read the bottom and give you who these people are. I'm gonna beat up on this forever because they're claiming the Southeast. This is not their shit. Y'all ready? When the Spaniards conquered Mexico, everyone knows that this fair country of North America was inhabited by a gentle people which, having no knowledge of firearms, was easily subjugated. It had only courage and numbers to oppose the murderous arms of its enemies. In a word, it was defenseless. For what availed a bow and arrow against the artillery of an army, feeble in numbers, yet indeed, but warlike, intrepid, and led on by an insatiable thirst for gold, which this too trusting people had been unfortunate enough to display to their eyes. Montezuma reigned then in Mexico, seeing that it was impossible to arrest the progress of the Spaniards. He called to his assistance the people which were neighbors to his states, the nation of the Muskogees, now known under the name of Creeks, who formed a separate republic in the northwest part of Mexico. Okay, perfect. So these people from the west, right, did something that was amazing, because you read the story, it only took them a certain amount of days, years, to make it to the Great Pond. In this story, they literally tell you right here, it says, and this is after they had taken possession of Alabama. It says the Muskogees, no longer fighting enemies to fight, took peaceful possession of the country, which they had just conquered. How do you take peaceful possession of something you conquered? Let's find out. They established themselves on the river Cosa, Talapalosa, Chattahoochee, Flint, Okmulgee, Little and Great Oconee, and Ogeechee, and pushed their settlements as far as the river Savannah in Georgia, where the city of Augusta is now built. Think of this. They left Mexico and traveled way the fuck over here, whooping ass, conquering people, setting up their nation on the major rivers. These aren't little rivers. Look at this. It says, among them who were too weak to resist the attacks of an enemy came at once to beg for their help. The Tuskegee, and the Okai or the Okja had experienced from their neighbors the same fate as the Tuckabachi. Having learned of the good treatment which the latter had experienced from the Creek, came to ask them an asylum came to ask of them an asylum and protection, and they were received into the nation. Right? Guess who else got down to the nation? Little Udugi. Who was Udugi? The Yuchi. A part of the Chickasaw Nation had also come to seek refuge. But remember that the Chickasaw are what? They're one of the original groups of migrants. But everybody wants to be a Creek Indian, but nobody is sitting there saying, hold on, what the fuck? So we come from over there, right? And it's not an issue. It's not an issue. But what they're not going to do is try to control the rhetoric. Let's go back to this. Let me share this for the people. Because y'all got to hear him teach. I want him to say it. Because I say it, again, it's a fucking problem. It's a problem. It's a problem.
When the Creek-Cherokee War broke out in 1716, many of the Shoki moved southward. Some went down into the Okeechobee Swamp eventually. Others followed the Chattahoochee River. This is probably the largest percentage of the Shoki went this way, by the way. They followed the Chattahoochee River to roughly the vicinity of Columbus, where they were at the capital of the Creek Confederacy. They were assigned land immediately to the west in what is now Lee County, Alabama. That's the area where Auburn and Opelika is now. Their village was located north of Auburn in what is now Waverly, Alabama, but then was known as Lacloco. After the First Creek War, many were forced to migrate westward into the New Creek Nation on the Arkansas River in Oklahoma.
So,
however,
I'm not even gonna deal with his however. What we know to be a fact is this. Let me stop sharing this. What we know to be a fact is this, bro. No matter how many Mayan hieroglyphs you find, no matter how many Mayan images you find, no matter how Mayan they want to make the mounds, they have to understand that there was a people much, 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 much older than them, or older than the so-called settlers that eventually came into the land. Because the Muskogee are migrants, the Yuchi are migrants, the Miccosukee are migrants. So who are you really? What is your family bloodline? There are people that are Gullah. There are people that are Geech. You have a more ancient bloodline in this land than a lot of people that are trying to take credit for their things. And the most important thing is, let me share this screen. I love sharing the screen, bro. We lit. Uh, is that when you go yourself, when you go yourself, when you experience this for yourself, it's different. It ain't just about looking on the internet, right? Or listening to somebody else work. You go out there yourself. And when you're seeing something, and when you looking at 16, when you're looking at this angle, and you say, I see them. And your aunt say, what you see? I say, Auntie, they out there. What people don't realize is, and I say this uh, with grief. The lands that we walked on out there are the remains of our ancestors. That's why I was able to see them, because spirit also stays with the body, right? And being out here, when you say, and speaking of Auntie, look who this is down here, right? And when you say, Auntie, it all makes sense. This all makes sense. This is a giant ant mound. This is why they replicated it with the red. It was deeper than just red clay. And you see that, you say, damn, you want to know. I advise people, the mounds that are in your family town, right? And I mean your family town that you know, like we're talking factual, right? We're talking that your family been there for hundreds, thousands of years. You go there. You go there and you hold on, it says, so what are the happenings going on to deal with these sites that are being given to and this is the thing, nothing yet has been given to them, but what is happening is we now have a mound protecting quote unquote society. But what happens when there's only 8 people? What happens when the majority of the Southeast, they want to be Muskogee Creek, right? So that gives a push, that gives the government a reason to push for giving these things to, like you said, fucking foreigners, right? Now let me go back, see if I can share. Let me share screen. We're going to look at. We're going to go back to the Facebook so I can show some things. Excuse me. Now, here is the side, and on this side, what I want to point out is they basically drained out this. I'm guessing it was a man-made canal, because if you look at it from where I was standing at the top, you literally could see water wrapped around it, and it looked like they either dug it out or dried it out. This is what I got from standing on top of the mound. So I'm like, bro, all of these red ant mounds down here, a lot of these edifices, or a lot of these mounds, um, they are connected with certain spaces. You get what I'm saying? Um, this is on the Chattahoochee River. This is near Moundville. Excuse me, Mandyville. Pardon me. This is the bridge that connects Georgia to Alabama. Dagger. If you know this spot, you will actually find out a lot of dark skinned quote unquote Creeks were thrown into the Chattahoochee when they were at war with Andrew Jackson's troops, General Jackson. And this land is also the place or the meeting place of the Overhill Cherokee, the Lower Creek, the Chata, and the Iroquois all met at this place in order to rectify a bill, a constitution order where they would actually go to war against Europeans. And that was also shut down. Um, that was also shut down at the hands of the Muskogee. So if you do know, you know that we almost got them people up off the land, but the Muskogee themselves sided with the Europeans along with the Cherokee. So this is a burial mound, right? This is the burial pit. What they call it, burial pit. This is a crematorial mound. So those that know, right? You have pottery deposits. Whoop. This was so interesting, man. This was one of the best times I've had here. Dealing with, because they're talking about the different. This is the map. Uh, they also have a map that deals with the culture, so it goes over the Woodland period, Swift Creek, the Lamar culture, all of that different shit, all that different stuff. Let's see what else we have here. This is a crematorial. This is a cremation. This is a cremation of a Bimiku, someone who was very special to that culture, because if you know, a lot of peoples were cremated. Their land, their bones or their remains were scattered amongst the land for them to remain with the people. These are different stone tools. This looks more of a war point, as opposed to something like this where take some big shit down. Um, you have the amazing beans, and they always hit you with that maize, beans, and squash, but that really came from the east. And what we will do, we'll do more bills on the diet of the Guale, especially the Guale. The nation of Kolomoki, this is what they say the extension was. They said this was the extension of Kolomoki. You do have the Flint River here, but also what we're going to talk about is the marriage between those of Appalachia, Apalachicola, and that part of the Chattahoochee region. So this is talking about what I mentioned. Where this is talking about Miku Otis. See if I can slide down a little bit. Guess not. Up there we go. So it says the Motar's plan, or conspiracy as it has been characterized, was an unintended consequence of the Cherokee Creek peace concluded in the year 1753. The Modar's town, Okja, played a significant role in the peace negotiation. Okja was one of two towns that had agreed to exchange tokens of peace with the Cherokees back in 1753 to end their decade-long war. Now, it says the Motar, who had many friends in that nation, the Cherokee, may have been ritually adopted into the Cherokee town of Choda. Now, Choda, I don't know if people know or not, but Choda is actually a Yuchi word. A lot of these Cherokee at that time were speaking Toshia, right, or Zoya. They were actually, a lot of them were speaking that language. Now, let me see, cancel, change, save, delete. Perfect. So let's Let me move this down and pull this back up. Now, I'm going to get into the comments. I'm back on screen so I can actually see what people are commenting. Let's see what Cuz said. She said, damn, so there's more of a spiritual connection with ants. Right. Some mounds were ants. I can show you mounds. Let me show you this mound, fam. This is what they call Eagle Rock Mound, right? I know you know what they say, the Eagle Rock Mound or whatnot. But as the elders taught, hold on. As the elders teach us, they've taught us that this mound here is also a crematory mound, a crematorial mound. Is this it? Yeah, these are the pictures right here. So this right here, they say Eagle Rock Mound. And again, my source or reference to this, he said it way back before all of this was going on, is the elder Chatupa, the Bialachi, M. Yamasi, you feel me, the big medicine man of the Yamasi. And he said, nephew, I want to show you this. Have you ever heard of Eagle Rock Mound? I'm like, yeah, I heard of Eagle Rock Mound. He said, it's not a mound. It's basically an edifice, right? It's depicting a falcon. Some people thought it was a turtle at first, but in fact, the effigy is actually a falcon. And he says that's why the Atlanta Falcons are called that. And I'm like, oh shit, what about the Hawks? He bust out laughing. Same bird. So this is where the Atlanta Hawks and the Atlanta Falcons get their name via Uncle Pa, right? And the Braves come from those Braves that were fighting, fighting those Europeans. So different mounds deal with different things. It's definitely a spiritual connection. Says, so does Muskogee people in Oklahoma embrace the fact that this happened openly or try to hide? They try to sweep it under the rug. And the reason they try to sweep it under the rug is this reason. Is because if they admit that they aren't the mound builders, then they have no claim to the Southeast. They only have claim to what they have now, and it's their homeland, which they were sent back to during the Trail of Tears. So if those who say their bloodline is originally from the Southeast and stayed in the Southeast, then those should be the ones to teach this. Those need to be the ones to say, hey, my family were a part of that mound building culture or that mound building society. How you know? Shit, I've been building mounds ever since I came out my mama womb. When she put me in the sandbox, what's the first thing I did? Right? So it's fairly simple. This shit is live to me, man. Being able to move how I want to move and share things with you all. Let me see if I could pull up. Let me see. I'm just gonna pull up another effigy mound in America. Let me see. Because in Florida, you had Turtle Mound. I remember you had Turtle Mound in Florida. Let me see. Just show different mounds. That way I don't have to be, too specific. But these things predate all of that, man. Let me see. Present. Share screen. So got a panther here. I know that's a panther, but it can't tell me nothing. In the shape of a stylized animal, symbol, religious figure, human or other figure. So it's effigy mounds. This is dealing with the late woodland period. Now look at it says the late woodland period. We already saw that the Muskogee and the Miccosukee weren't even here yet. So if these things were being built, before they got here, how could someone that's hold on, let me go to Facebook real quick because I want you all to read this. How could someone give credit to these mounds, give credit to the mounds to somebody way older than these? I keep doing it. I'm gonna do it every video. Every video I'm gonna ask the same fucking question, the same question. Every video I'm gonna ask the same question. All right, let me type this in. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull them up on Facebook. One moment. See if I can put them up on Facebook. It says Toshiya, Yuji. We need to go to groups. If not, what I'll do is I'll find it on my let me find it on my other page and read it real quick. One moment. There's no way, no, you can't let people get away with certain shit, man. How can I search on this profile? How can I search on this profile? See friendship, more, should be in more. No, search. There we go. Hey, don't let nobody know, but bro, you can go to somebody's profile on Facebook and you can keyword some shit and view all they post. That shit crazy, ain't it? Hold on. Don't go nowhere. I need y'all to see this. Don't go anywhere. Please don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Where is this post? So I think that they're gonna hide it from me, right? So what I'm gonna do is actually go to their page. Let me share it for the people. Let me share this for y'all. We're gonna go to their page and well, let me see. She says, so why is it so hard to embrace Mexico? I mean, there are things there I would think they can be proud of at least. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I would like to know that too, because Mexico is a beautiful place. The Mayans, the Aztec, even the Olmec had a beautiful culture. So the fact that they had to leave their culture, come over here and fuck with us and take from us, I get what you're like. Damn, bro, you don't like your own shit. Like you like mine so much, you don't even want yours. You know what I'm saying? You like mine so much, you don't even want yours. So let me see if I can find this. Can y'all see this? Yeah, y'all can see it. I know y'all got it. Let me scroll down. This was yesterday. See if I can find that post they were talking about, man, because it was like, wait, what? Are you serious? I may even have to search the page. I may even have to search the page. Search. Now, look at this. Look at this. These are the Yuchi that say they didn't build any mounds, right? The mound building culture, the Olmecs and the Yuchi are somehow related, but we just do not quite have enough information to validate the connection fully. You don't have enough information for the fucking conversation. But it says both the Olmec and the Yuchi were active traders. The Yuchi arrived in the southeast during early Olmec times, and the mound building culture was founded at the same time. Oral traditions link them, but more information is needed. Several scholars believe that the Yuchi were an Olmec people and that they were the priest elite that ruled Cahokia, off to do more indigenous detective work. You definitely have to do more indigenous detective work, because you have mound building society at BC 1000 BC. You have Hopewell at 300 BC. And then a nigga like me say, fuck it, right? Nigga like me say, fuck it. Nigga like me say, fuck it. Nigga like me say, fuck it. How could mound building culture, right, be attributed? Let me share this with y'all. How could mound building culture be attributed to the Olmec when this predates the fucking Olmec? How could of the Olmec, how could it be a product of the Olmec when They are babies to this. Says the research gets worldwide attention from scholars and news media because it shows that people were in the Americas 50,000 years ago. This is the University of South Carolina, Shakuhachi. So how in the hell? And then they say the Yuchi are some of the oldest inhabitants in the Southeast. This is what we hear. So how are we going to give our credit to these people, bro? These are fucking migrants. These are migrants. Right? She says, I can't remember exactly, but I do remember Chief Langley even saying the Yuchi aren't really from here. They aren't. See, this is the dagger, and this is where Langley played. This is where Langley played. I'm going to tell you where he played. Y'all ready for this? Langley played because he let the Northern Yuchi tell him who the fuck he was. Knowing that the original Zoya were in the savannah when the first Yuchi got to the savannah. But Langley didn't have enough information for the conversation. Chief Langley was actually right when he said the original Yuchi sprang out of the savannah. He was right, but he did not have enough information. So when the Yuchi from the north got a hold of that and tried to convince him otherwise and convince him that they were Olmec, that's what fucked them up. Even some Yamasi claim to be descendants of the Olmec. And there's nothing wrong with that. But again, if we go to their page, let me share this to you all again. Just stay where you all at. It's going to take 3 seconds. If I share this to you again, they're giving mound building culture around 1000 BC to 1500 AD. But what happens when we can prove that there were mounds still being created in the 1700s? So who came up with this bullshit? Right? It says the Hopewell were the second of 3 mound building civilizations. They were the strongest civilization for 500 years and grew in the middle of the United States. Hopewell trade reached from the Atlantic to the Great Plains, from the Superior to the Gulf of Mexico. But why? Nobody has peeped that this was unification. This was a unification, but the Olmec were down here, right? So what they want to make this, the product of these people, but it predates that. Olmec, it predates these people by at least 50, 60,000 fucking years, right? This is there, and this is why we, as the actual people, got to do the work. Because you don't do the work, you go, oh, well, they're in their tribes and shit. Just because they are in their tribes don't mean that they are teaching the facts of the matter. A lot of these people be wrong. So when they talk about the horned snake, right? Or the mythical horned snake, the giant lizard, they don't never want to give credit that or to tell the fact that that's our shit in the Southeast. That's ours. Dealing with the horned snake, that's ours. I can actually show you in the quote unquote, what they call the mythology book. Now, let's read this. This is more of their fuckery. It says, while everyone looking at the mound building culture of the Southeast United States agrees that the culture was greatly influenced and a daughter culture of Mesoamerica, many misinformed amateur historians have tried to interpret it as a colonial Mayan or Aztec culture. The argument against this is this simplistic view is quite straightforward, right? So they about to kick me for using the CPU, but let me keep going. Fuck it, we're gonna keep going, right? Quite straightforward. They made okay, boom. But it says the timing is all wrong, right? The mound building culture begins too early to be associated with either Mayan or Aztec cultures, but rather it's contemporary with the Olmec culture. Now, how could mound building be a daughter culture of Mesoamerica when there isn't a mound in Mexico that's older than any mound in the north? Right? How could they claim that our culture is a daughter of their culture when our culture predates theirs? Nobody peeping that dude. Everybody want to be Olmecs because it's pretty, right? Everybody want to be Olmec because it's pretty. It looks good to be an Olmec. I can see myself in the culture, so I must be. This is the same thing with Egypt. When people got with Egypt, when they got Egypt, they said, you know what? Damn, I can see myself. This must be us. This must be us. Because the Olmec culture, and again, I tell people all the time, whatever date you want to rock with, I'm gonna rock with it because I know something older than that. I be playing around with the dates. I be playing with the fucking dates just to make people agree with me so I can end up taking them further back. So now you have some people saying the Olmec are the oldest people in the Americas. This is what some guy went to Mexico and started teaching, and he's crazy as shit because I guarantee you once he find this shit out, he gonna start teaching this as if he found it. Now, pre-Olmec cultures had flourished since about 2500 BC. But by 1200 BC, early Olmec culture had emerged. Why? These were migrants. Even the Olmec are migrants. The Olmec are even migrants. And we want to look at the dates for the Aztec existence. Look at these. Okay, watch this. Look at that date. Look at the start date to the end date. What did I say? What did I say? I said when the Aztecs went to war against the Mexicans, the Mayans, they forced the Mayans to leave. They forced the people to Florida. Now, if we can get let me see if I get a map of their empire. See, they show a map. So I can find a map of their empire. Let me see. Aztec map. So I'm gonna use this right here. Now we read that when the first group of people left, they landed in Florida. These were the original Miccosukee, right? We hear they landed in Florida. And when they got to Florida, they set up their town, Mayaka. These are, let me see if I can find these people right here. Hold on. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The real Mayans, right? Or those and they came in peace. These people came in peace. They were different than let me see if I can screen share that one more time. I don't think y'all seen that. Let me put that back. Hold on. Let me present this again. Let me screen share this so people can see what's really going on. See, when the people, when he said, you know, we don't know if they can't, you know, we don't know. Nah, I know. Hold on, y'all bear me one moment. Mayaka Yamasi. Let's say my browser has blocked my screen share. Don't tell me that. So when I thought it was interesting. When you begin to see that, hey, these people, not these people, but their ancestors, a lot of the ancestors came from Mexico with a gift. And that gift was something that would feed us for hundreds of years. Without the rigorous work that we used to do to find food, they brought us corn. That's what they did. She says, let me show all the comments. Oh, did we lit, y'all? I ain't know I can show y'all comments at the top of the screen. Hey, Mom, how you doing? Hopefully they don't shut you down this time. Right, Mom? Because they get me every time. Cuz, what's good? Let me show all y'all comment. Let me show everybody comment one time, man. It's cool. We lit. I'm telling you, 2 videos a day, bro. Like, I could definitely get y'all 3 hours. So let me go to the last comment what Cuz was talking. She says, basically most popular tribes are migrants. Just that it's hard for people today to see that. Just like when someone says, I'm from India. Okay, right. Facts. Ain't that right, Ma? We lit. We lit. Says Cuz said, thinking of them not actual indigenous people here, but think of the pale people as right. Oh my God. I'm leaving this comment up because they are migrants. And they will tell the indigenous people, y'all from somewhere else, while considering the pale skin to be their brothers. That's some shit. You can read their words where Muskogee chiefs and Cherokee chiefs, the pale ones, considered these people to be their brothers. And they considered us to be their vessels. They waged war on us because of our skin color and our hair texture. It's an actual fact. This can't be made up. This is not something that we can make up. So I'm going to stop this live. Got a good hour, 15 minutes. Y'all, please like this video. Please just take your time, like the video, and share it to someone. This information, it may not seem like a lot, but it's fulfilling because it gives people the sense of we belong and y'all not finna take our shit.